Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Drobak, Director of the Skoll Center for Social Entrepreneurship at the University of Oxford. Welcome to Map the System 2021. We're absolutely thrilled to have 64 universities on 6 continents participating in Map the System this year, by far our biggest year yet. By the way, Antarctica, what are you waiting for? You're all part of a global learning community that wants to use systems change as a superpower for transformational social and environmental change. And I feel like Map the System was really made for the moment that we're in right now, when we're living through these entangled systemic crises, what Bill Gates called mutually exacerbating catastrophes. And so this year, our goal is to leverage the creativity and intellectual firepower of our global Map the System community to develop actionable systemic change ideas that can help us to respond to a world in crisis. And to do that, we're making a few changes to Map the System this year. The heart of Map the System remains exactly the same. This year, we're aligning Map the System with Global Opportunities and Threats Oxford, or GOTO, our flagship systems leadership course in the Oxford MBA. In doing so will allow us to provide more video teaching content and other resources to support your Map the System journeys. For the first time, we're organizing Map the System competition under a theme with 4 grand challenges. We've been doing this in GOTO for years, and it's time to kind of bring this together. We're calling the theme Systems Reset, and it's designed to help us think together about how to move from crisis to transformation. The COVID-19 pandemic has thrown our world into disarray. Far more than a public health crisis, the pandemic triggered an economic crisis, a social crisis, a governance crisis. It contributed to a long overdue reckoning on systemic racial injustice. Meanwhile, wildfires and other extreme weather events signaled the increasing urgency of our unfolding climate crisis. All of these challenges predated COVID-19, but the pandemic exposed and exacerbated flaws in our systems. Furthermore, we know that the risk and the harm has not been equally distributed. To take just one example, in America, Black Americans are facing a death rate from COVID-19 that's double that of white Americans. And we've seen similar yawning inequalities across different disease areas and across different aspects of our societies and geographies around the world. The only effective shielding strategy from COVID-19 so far has been wealth. Where does that leave vulnerable and marginalized populations? Whilst we may all long for a return to normality after months of loss and sacrifice, is back to normal really what we want? Much of the public discourse has advocated for building back better from the pandemic, but it's clear to me that this is not enough. We need to seize this moment to reimagine and redesign our systems. We need a reset. Now, this is easy to say, but much harder to do. Any of these so-called wicked problems feel overwhelming in their complexity and intractability. And while it may be seductive to seek a magic bullet, there are no simple solutions. To reset our systems, we'll need to think and act differently. Now, under the Systems Reset theme, Map the System and GOTO are going to focus on 4 grand challenges. They're intentionally broad in their framing, and the idea is to allow student teams to leverage their interest and expertise when choosing a systems exploration project. We want to help them find the right context to take what it is they care about and find a meaningful project. Students are also going to be encouraged this year to think about how racism, sexism, and discrimination in all their forms intersect with these themes, with attention to knowledge equity, whose knowledge and experiences do we consider authoritative when we're examining systems. And it's important to remind here that in Map the System, you're allowed as students to have team members who are not students. And that's actually a really special opportunity to find colleagues who may have lived experience on the problem you're working on and actually make them a fundamental part of your team. And that can create a real advantage. And I think it's a really important aspect of this process and a really important learning. And we've looked really carefully at the projects that students have submitted over the years in Map the System and really feel that almost all of them fall squarely within one of these challenges. And so we really think that we'll be able to balance students being able to follow issues that they care about while being able to provide them with some framing and really leveraging this community to drive meaningful change and impact in the world. You'll find more about this on the Canvas site, and by early December, we'll be posting a bunch of information about each one of the challenges with resources, project ideas, and videos to help get started. I look forward to seeing you soon, and thanks.